Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, who to rule and teach well. Peace and blessing salutations, as always, to the hopeful elect, Tabernacle of David, listening and learning. So we're going to get right into it. The president of China, Xi Jinping, has told his military to focus all efforts on preparation for war with America and the West through Taiwan. So this is just an escalation of things that we've been telling you is coming. World War III is here. The MOTB is here. And very soon, nukes will begin to fly throughout the earth, and especially here to Babylon the Great. So all these kings are roused up. There's a spirit on them to go to war. And things are not looking good. As far as this world goes, it's on the way out. So for you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans out there, as well as you speckled bird Israelites that may look like the heathen scattered abroad, it's time to examine yourself. It's time to get your house in order, because the Lord, he about to bring forth some major judgments on this earth that if you're not in the Lord's good graces, you're going to be taken by these things. So we're going to go ahead, check out a few videos, get some articles and precepts as well, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying.
Today, I, along with a group from the Military Commission, came to the Military Commission's Joint Operations Center to make the clear determination and in implementing the spirit of the 20th National Congress of the Communist Party, and to comprehensively strengthen our commitment to training and preparedness for battle. The world has not seen such significant change in 100 years, but it is now accelerating. The stability of our national security is increasingly uncertain, and the tasks related to military struggle are extremely heavy. The entire military must implement the party's strong military ideology in the new era, implement the new military strategy, and adhere to the fundamental standard of combat effectiveness. All efforts should be focused on preparing for war.
So you heard that? He said all efforts should be geared toward preparing for war. And these Chinese, they're Moabites, they serious about coming against America. All right, and pretty much, if you know what's going on geopolitically, then China, you know that China pretty much got America and the West by the balls, all right, so to speak. Because America especially, and the European nations, they're consumer nations, all right? All of their goods are pretty much imported. They don't export very much at all right? So once that war with Taiwan jumps off and it's full-scale war, these Western nations, they're not going to be getting no more supplies and goods from China, all right? Which is going to lead to what? Job loss, famine, all right? It's going to be chaos out here. Work is going to stop completely. And Xi Jinping, as well as Vladimir Putin, they study war, all right? So they know that they could have, made the jump on America a minute ago, but it wasn't the right time, all right? Now was the time, and ultimately we understand that certain things have not happened yet because it's the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, all right? But now is the time for these things to happen in its full measure. Now the Chinese, the North Koreans, Russia, Iran, the kings of the East, they're all raised up and they're ready to go down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat to do this war. And also China, they just pledged, military support for Iran and what was that other nation that they pledged to? I think it was Russia or Slovakia. China said that they're strengthening their military ties with Russia, but they also have backed up Iran, all right, as well as Russia. So these nations, the BRICS, they coming together and they ready to do some war. All right, this is why he said all efforts. So they not really worried about nothing else. They're worried about going to war. This is how imminent of a threat that this is. And if you don't believe this is serious, like we just running our mouth, the U.S., they just sent, I believe, about 1,000 troops to Israel. All right, and they just sent Salaki. They just sent another 100 troops to Ukraine, I believe. All right, so troops are already being moved. Militaries are being assembled. Artillery is being sent. So we already here. All right, it's only a matter of time before things really jump off full scale, but that's right around the corner.
All work should be geared towards war, improving the party's ability to secure victory, firmly defending the country's sovereignty, security, and developmental interests, and completing the various tasks entrusted by the party and the people.
Chinese President Xi Jinping has ordered the nation's military to intensify their war preparations. Following a series of military exercises around Taiwan, Xi made the announcement during a visit to the People's Liberation Army Rocket Force on October 19th, where he emphasized the need for combat readiness and the enhancement of China's strategic deterrence capabilities. This latest move comes amid escalating tensions between China and Taiwan, with Beijing conducting its fourth round of large-scale war drills around the island in just over 2 years. These exercises included fighter jets, drones, warships, and Coast Guard vessels, effectively surrounding the self-ruled island. China, which views Taiwan as a breakaway province, has consistently stated it won't rule out the use of force to bring Taiwan under its control. Xi stressed that the military must be ready to defend China's core interests and strategic security at any cost. The conflict traces back to the Chinese Civil War, when nationalist forces retreated to Taiwan in 1949 after being defeated by Mao Zedong's Communist Army. Since then, China and Taiwan have been governed separately, but Beijing continues to claim sovereignty over the island.
We have breaking news this evening. The Chinese military has announced a new set of military exercises aimed at encircling Taiwan. The exercises, named Joint Sword 2024B, will involve ships and planes operating in the Taiwan Strait and areas north, south, and east of the island. This comes amidst rising tensions, as North Korea, a Chinese ally, has placed some of its brigades near the South Korean border in a state of readiness. This follows allegations that South Korea sent a drone into North Korean territory, though this claim remains unconfirmed by South Korea. Unlike past exercises in 2022 when Speaker Pelosi visited Taiwan, China has not announced any live fire drills or established no-fly zones. The duration of the current military drill is unclear, but it represents a significant act of provocation. Stay tuned for more updates. We have
Call Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, right? We continue to tell you, we in that time. It's really about to go down. Like, you got brothers and sisters having visions of UN troops, like military dressed in all black, going around grabbing people up, throwing people in detention centers, putting people to death. All right, so if you one of them scoffers out there that want to run your mouth and think that we just talking bullshit, you about to find out real soon. All right, the Most High about to wake your ass up real soon to what's happening. All right, because you can't possibly be that fucking stupid in this time to, be twiddling your thumbs, man, when this is what's happening. All right. This is what's going on. Like, it's about to be a draft put in place for those of you niggas out there that like to run your mouth, man. All right, so this article, President Xi Jinping orders Chinese military to prepare for war over concerns national security is increasingly unstable and uncertain. The Chinese president made the declaration during a visit to the Joint Operations Command Center of the Central Military Commission in Beijing on Tuesday. Xi Jinping has ordered Chinese military to prepare for war. And don't that remind you of Joel, the third chapter, wake up the mighty men, prepare for war. That's the spirit. Warning, China's national security is facing, quote, increased instability and uncertainty. The Chinese president made the declaration during a visit to the Joint Operations Command Center of the Central Military Commission in Beijing on Tuesday. China will now comprehensively strengthen its military training in preparation for any war, Xi said. The entire military should devote all its energy to and carry out all its work for combat readiness, enhance its capability to fight and win, Xi was quoted as saying by state-owned media outlet Xinhua. All right, so these nations are definitely in the spirit of war. Peace is off the table, as we've been telling you. And there's about to be a military draft set in place because currently America, nor Europe, NATO, or the EU, they don't have enough troops to go up against the kings of the East, you see. And I believe it was North Korea when they made the declaration when Lil Kim Jong-un, when he made the declaration that they will be prepared to go to war against South Korea, all right, and definitely against the West. I think in one day they got like 500,000 young men to sign up to fight, you see. So that's what kind of morale that these nations have. Meanwhile, you got America over in the West. Nobody wants to fight for America, you see. So much so to the point where now they've had to bring in paid mercenaries to fight on their behalf. But even that's going to backfire. But the American people, right, when you go into Jeremiah 51, it tells you that the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They are become as women, all right? The men here are weak, effeminate, all right? They're not mighty men. But nonetheless, Esau going to put your ass out there to turn your ass into topsoil, all right? That's what's getting ready to happen. So it's that time, right? Yeah, look at that. He's toasting to war. Oh, man. Call Allah Yahweh Shah, man. Joel chapter 3. And we'll start at verse 11. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. All right, so this great war, this final battle of Armageddon, World War III, we see that it's shaping up, right? We're in the beginning stages of this thing getting ready to come forth. All right, so this is why we are to watch, continually, the things happening within the planet Earth, because, we got to know what's going on, and these things are a sign that our Lord Yahweh Shah is very near to return. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, these leaders, Emmanuel Macron, these leaders, they're moving the way that they're moving because the Lord has put it on their heart, right? The Lord has put the spirit on them to war one against another, all right? To rise up, to assemble armies, to prepare war for themselves, all right? Because they don't know that, in their mind, they're thinking that, oh yeah, we about to go to war to defend our sovereignty. China thinking, yeah, we about to come together with China and Iran and these other nations to take down the West. All right, not even knowing that Yahweh Bashim Shai, he's preparing war for these nations so that they can destroy themselves. Okay, that's the cold part about it. Hence why, as it is written, the deceived and the deceiver are his. All right, so the Lord, he playing chess with these nations right now, man, and they're all playing into his hand. All right, who hath resisted his will? All right, so the Lord is in control of all things, man, even these nations. All right, 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time, diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I've told thee before, right? Yahweh Shah told the disciples that what in the last days you would see wars and rumors of wars, nation would rise against nation, all right? That this is the beginning of wars, the beginning of sorrows. This is the very same time that we in today, all right? Hence why it says, when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I've told thee before, pertaining back to what? Prophecy, okay, which to prophesy means to say before. All right, so the things that were spoken aforetime are coming into play in today's time. Okay, validating the words of Yahweh Bashmi Shai as faithful and true. Verse 2, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, which we're seeing all these things. Okay, right now, California, they're on a major earthquake watch. Okay, they saying that a magnitude 9.0 or even greater is set to hit California. They calling it the big one. All right, but all over the place you see earthquakes happen. All right, all over the earth. This is a sign. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. This is the point here, verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Okay, so these wars going on between these nations, this is the manifestation of the end. That's the point. All right, verse 6. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and effects and endings, Salakia, and effects and signs. Okay, so these effects and signs going back to prophecy. This is how we know what time it is. This is how we know that we're very close to the end of all things and the establishment of the kingdom of heaven, very soon to come. North Korean troops in Ukraine crossed his red line for U.S. and NATO. So just the other day, North Korea said that they would support Russia in the Ukraine war, and now they have sent troops. Well, now the U.S. and NATO is saying that they've crossed a red line, which that's the hypocrisy of Esau, because Esau, he been sending his soldiers over to Ukraine to fight, because even with the whole Russia-Ukraine war, Russia just been using their troops. Like, they haven't been taking nobody else and putting out there to fight on their behalf. But America, NATO, and the EU, they've been sending Germans, they've been sending French, they've been sending Italian, you know what I'm saying? They've been sending their armies to fight in Ukraine, because the population of Ukraine was decimated within 6 months of that war. All right, so where are they getting all these men to fight from? Well, they're pulling it from NATO's reserves. All right, but North Korea or Slovakia or Russia, they can't get help from their ally, North Korea, to get troops in there to fight on the ground. Complete hypocrisy. All right, but yeah, they saying U.S. and NATO, this crosses a red line. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see what's going to happen. We're going to see what's going to happen with this if they've crossed that red line. Or is NATO going to go all out, or they going to play conservative? We'll see. But just something to look at in the news. This right here, we ain't really got to get into it, but China caused allegations that it infiltrated U.S. critical infrastructure, a political farce. Now, we saw what happened the other day in Cuba, where there was they still don't have no power out there, but we saw what happened with the Cuba situation, how the grid just completely blacked out. No power is in Cuba right now. And the same thing is going to happen in America, Babylon the Great. And they showed you that in the movie Leave the World Behind, when there was a complete East Coast blackout. So the same thing is coming here. But we know how these devils get down. That's what they want to happen. But they have to have a boogeyman. You see, they always got to have somebody to blame it on so they can take the heat off themselves. All right. So now China is at the forefront of hacking U.S. critical infrastructure. Now, I'm not saying that China don't have interest to hack U.S. infrastructure and shut the grid down. I'm not saying that. But knowing how Esau gets down, because we know this devil, all right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we know how Esau get down. So more than likely, It's not going to be China to pull the plug on America. It's going to be Esau, because really Esau has the control. You see what I'm saying? And then again, for Chinese hackers to even get that deep into the infrastructure like that, that would mean that the American cybersecurity will be complete trash. But we know that's not the case, because you have some of the top cybersecurity professionals operating within America. Okay, you even have overseas, European nations that tap into American infrastructure and watch things. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't it. I'm not saying that it's far fetched, but it wouldn't be that easy for China to just get up in, get deep into the system like that and be able to hack into all the transformers and hack into the power grid and shut it down. It wouldn't be that easy, but it would be easy for the ones that have knowledge of how all these things are connected. Okay, which is Esau. Okay, America, they about to pull the plug on their own citizens, and they gonna blame it on China. They gonna blame it on whoever, so that also they can galvanize the people against whatever nation that they want to blame. It says, see, they're attacking our infrastructure. We got to go to war. All right. Same thing happened with 9/11. Okay. The American government was responsible for 9/11, but what did they do? They blamed Osama bin Laden. Okay. They blamed what's the name of that organization? Al Qaeda, whatever. Okay, they blamed them. Well, they had nothing to do with it. All right, so we know, judging by history, we know how this devil get down. But a grid blackout is coming. You see what I'm saying? You are gonna have that. You see, so we definitely know it's times, man. Things are about to go down. We definitely in that time where the Lord is accelerating the end. All right, 1 Peter 4 and verse 7. It says, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Yeah, the end of all things is very soon to come. All right, this is why we're supposed to be watching. All right, watching the signs of the times, keeping up with the news, trying to, always be in the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right, watching unto prayer. And praying is very important in this time as well, because, we want the Lord to hear our cries. We want the Lord to protect us from the evil that's coming on this earth, man. Like, we want the Lord to provide for us when the multitudes of these people out here, they losing their mind. All right, we want that protection from on high. Romans chapter 13 and verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. Yeah, our salvation is at the door, man. Okay, Yahweh Shai is at the door. You see, things are about to happen on a scale that nobody ever seen before. It's about to be a time like no other, right? As the scriptures say. Our salvation is nearer than when we believe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really got Jake out there talking about the Lord ain't coming back within this lifetime. Like, are you crazy, bro? Do you not see what's going on? Like, are you, I mean, well, of course a nigga would say something like that because, niggas don't know what's going on. But looking like, if you're really tapped into what's going on geopolitically, then you know that we're very close. If you're tapped into what's going on with the whole Neuralink and Elon Musk and this financial system that they about to change, then you know what time it is, man. Okay? You already know that these last few prophecies that need to be fulfilled is on the table, and these things are about to come forth. You see? Prophecies are speaking, man, loud and clear right now. Verse 12, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. Yeah, we are to put on the armor of light, man. Let our light shine before men. All right, because this world is in gross darkness, man. You see? So we have to be the light to proclaim the gospel of Yahweh Basham Shai before men. All right, tell them whether they hear or whether they forbear what is coming on this earth, because guess what? The time for the men of the Lord, the prophets, to start speaking is about to happen very, very soon. All right, and when it does happen, you know what I'm saying, when Esau does shut down the grid and he passes laws against, preaching out of the Bible and things of that nature, that's when people are going to want to know what's going on. That's when people are going to seek the prophets, man. That's when they're going to want answers. But the scriptures say that in that time, they're not going to find it because they abused and they did not regard the truth while it was freely available. So at the time that these things come forth, you're going to be on your own, okay? You're going to be on your own, man. That's why we tell you, get this while you can get it, because the time is coming. It ain't going to be out here forever, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying through the Rakah Kadash, call Halal, Yahweh Bashmel Shah Bashim Rakah Kadash.